Hello, my friend. How nice of you to join me in another edition of Sound Fiction. Let me ask, have you ever seen something you couldn't quite explain? Like a dark figure in the window, a swift shadow in the forest, or perhaps strange lights in the sky? Meet Darren, outdoor enthusiast and off-the-grid resident. When he is visited by a large glowing orb at night, he makes it his job to document these encounters and find out what it wants. So let's get lost, or found, in episode 61 of Sound Fiction, Crystal Encounters. The sun rose up on a misty summer morning, just outside Darren's trailer, light splintering through the trees, as he fumbled a video camera tripod next to the smoky campfire which had recently extinguished. Placing a fold-up lawn chair by the front door, he set up the shot and pressed record with the nervous energy of an excited teenager. All right, y'all. I'm here recording this outside my trailer to tell you all about something real strange that happened last night. It was about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm a bit of a night owl. It was late, and I started to hear a weird sound coming from outside. So I looked out the window to see a light, kind of shining through my blinds. Now, at first, I thought it was someone's headlights, and I thought, who the hell would be driving down here this late? But then I noticed that it was coming from up above. Now, it was too bright to be the moon, so I said, what the heck? And I went outside. What I saw outside wasn't anything I can properly explain. Right above the trees over there, just behind you, you can't see it looking this direction, but just behind you was this huge, glowing, floating orb, about the size of a minivan or something. It was just right there, kind of gently bobbing up and down. Now, I've heard of these things before, UFOs or UAPs or whatever you want to call them, but I have never in my life seen one before, let alone one this up close. I mean, it was right there. I couldn't mistake it. And I know what you want to say. You're going to say I'm crazy or I don't know what I'm talking about, but believe me when I say I am the first one to be skeptical. I'm the very first one to point out when something seems fishy. But this thing I saw was as clear as day. There was no mistaking it. And I know I saw it because it saw me. I mean, you know how they say UFOs sometimes kind of have a mind of their own? Kind of like they're alive in some sort of way? Well, this was like that. This thing, even though it didn't move or do anything to suggest it was alive, I could just feel it and know it in my heart. It was looking at me, recognizing me, trying to understand me. All right, this might not make much sense now, but it will. I'm gonna catch this thing on camera, and you'll see. You'll see what I saw. Darren retired to his trailer, where he formulated a plan to capture this phenomenon and document his efforts along the way. He decided not just to show the world this strange orb of light, but to tell his story and make a film that would be talked about for ages to come. Alright, so last time I didn't really do a good job of explaining myself. Sorry about that. My name is Darren Jackson, and I live here in Pushmataha County, Oklahoma. I stay right there in my big, beautiful, double-wide trailer, as I have for the last 8 or so months. And I really like it out here. It's some of the most beautiful land on God's green earth. A little about me. I'm originally from Georgia. Moved around a lot growing up because my dad was in the military. When I was real young, we left Atlanta and moved to Virginia for a little while, then down to North Carolina, and then over to California, and after that, Texas. I've been everywhere, man. And I can say with the utmost confidence that Pushmataha County is the most beautiful place in the world. You know, I kind of like being from all around. I don't feel like I really belong anywhere, but at the same time, I can kind of exist everywhere, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, the incident last night. Like I said, it was about 2 or 3 in the morning when I saw this thing. And I can't even begin to explain to you how real it was. The whole time I was just thinking, oh my goodness, people have got to see this. So I ran back inside to grab my camcorder or my phone that's got a camera on it, and I'm stumbling through the door, fumbling in the dark, trying to find something to record this with, and finally I get my hands on the phone. But when I get outside, the thing's gone. Just completely disappeared. I'm left out here thinking, did I really see what I think I saw? At first, I even thought I was crazy, but I know what I saw was real because I got evidence. I can show y'all that tomorrow. Tonight, I'm gonna stay up and wait for this thing to come back, and this time, I'll be ready. Darren stayed up all night by the fire, waiting for his glowing orb to return. He never took his eyes off the sky and watched diligently, hoping for any sign of the previous night's visitor. Unfortunately, the orb made no appearance, but Darren was still determined to tell his story. Now that it's light out, I'm gonna show you the area it was in before. It was in this clearing a short walk from my trailer. It was kinda tucked in this little open spot. It wasn't above the trees at all. Right here. Right over here. Here it was, about 10, 15 feet off the ground in this little area. And I know it was right here because you can see by the dirt and grass and sticks on the ground. You see here? Everything has been pushed outwards from this very spot. Almost like something propelled them away from the middle, making this circle of dirt and twigs around where the object stood. Okay, I'm walking around the edges now, and you can see where everything bunches up. This is physical proof that something was here the other night interacting with the tangible environment. I'm just gonna grab a few twigs and a little dirt, stick it in my pocket here, then send it off to a lab somewhere or something. And I bet you they find something extraterrestrial or anomalous from this evidence. But not before they see my footage. The footage I'm gonna get of this thing tonight. The time was now 2:37 a.m., and Darren was slowly awoken by a whirring sound just outside. In a daze, he was not sure where he was or where the sound was coming from. The light from his window suddenly snapped Darren's mind back into action. It immediately reminded him of his location and what was going on. Thinking fast, he grabbed the phone from his table before bolting frantically out the door. Just like 2 nights ago, there it was, a large, glowing orb bobbing peacefully in the nearby clearing. Darren ran towards it, heart beating so fast it felt like he was about to faint. When he reached the clearing, awe took over, and Darren just stared up at the beautiful object. It didn't react to his presence at all, almost inviting him to step closer and inspect its body for himself. Reminded of the task at hand, Darren fiddled with his phone to open it and start recording, but nervousness got the best of him, and shaky hands fumbled the device, sending it to the ground. Darren bent down to pick it up, and just as he did, the orb began ascending up toward the stars. Higher and higher it rose, as Darren desperately tried to open his phone and turn on the camera. Before he could even come close, the orb shot off into the distance at a completely unnatural speed, leaving Darren alone in the darkness. There he stood, phone in hand, wearing nothing but a pair of tattered boxer shorts. Defeated, he slowly walked back to the trailer, where he slept heavily for the rest of the night. So, last night, I saw the craft again, and I swear, I was this close to catching it on camera. I was this close, I swear. But it doesn't matter. It will come back. I just know it. Last night, when I approached it, I felt something. It's hard to explain what this something was, but it was significant. It was like that thing recognized me, but not from the first night I saw it. It recognized me like it knew me, like it always knew me. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. It's a feeling you can only get when you're around ones who love you, like your mom or your dad. I don't know why this thing keeps coming here, but it has to be for some specific reason. I mean, why would it keep coming to the exact same spot? To the same place where it knows I'm always at? That's why I'm so confident it's gonna come back. It doesn't just want to. It needs to. Darren packed a bag and set out onto a forest trail, which led to the main property of the land he lived on. He documented his journey and kept an eye out for any signs or evidence potentially left behind by the celestial visitor. Now, I know if this thing comes here to these woods, there has got to be more evidence left behind by it. I mean, it's way too powerful to just show up and not leave anything untouched. Anyway, a little more about me. I came out here a while back to do some off-the-grid living. I just bounced around so much that I didn't feel... I didn't know where I wanted to live, really. Being around people just didn't suit me anymore. I sort of felt like it was hard to fit in. That's when I met Chet, over at a RV convention in Dallas. We was there checking out the same recreational vehicle, and we got to talking. He ended up telling me about this big property he's got out here in Oklahoma. Now, I had expressed interest in an off-grid living situation, and that's when he offered to rent me a small plot out here on his land. The idea sounded pretty nice, so I went and bought that vehicle we was looking at and came up for a visit. I tell you, as soon as I arrived at this place, I was in love with it. I mean, you got fresh air, big, beautiful trees all around, mountains in the distance, and best of all, not a soul to bother you for any reason whatsoever. It's just, oh, look at that. You see that right there? That is a perfectly round break in the foliage right here. You can see that for quite a distance, the branches in the trees form a perfect hole leading off into the sky. The orb must have flown right through here, in this trajectory right here. Nothing else could make such a perfect break in the trees. It's magnificent. Just the pure power of that thing blasting through here. Oh, imagine that. Just going wherever you want at the speed of light. That's gotta be something else. At the end of the trail, Darren came up to a small cottage-style house in the middle of a grassy field. Outside the house, sitting gingerly on the front porch, was a man. He wore jeans, a sleeveless cut-off t-shirt, and an old, worn-out trucker's cap. On his face sat a very thick mustache as he greeted Darren kindly upon his arrival. Darren explained the intense encounters he had experienced over the past few days and asked the man if he would like to be interviewed about life on the property. He casually agreed, and Darren set up the camera to conduct the interview. So, introduce yourself and, tell us about yourself, Chet.
Well, my name's Chet. I like fishing, camping, and drinking beer.
What about this land, Chet? What can you tell us about this place?
It's a nice place. I've been living here my whole life. The land's been in my family since pretty much forever. When my daddy died about 8, 9 years ago, it became mine.
Have you ever experienced anything interesting on this property? Anything out of the ordinary that you can't really explain?
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, have you ever seen anything that, if you tried to tell someone, they'd call you crazy?
Oh, yeah. I sure have.
Like what?
I seen a Bigfoot.
What?
I said I seen a Bigfoot.
On the property?
Yeah, right over there, at the edge of the field.
How many times have you seen this Bigfoot?
Oh, I don't know, about 50, 60 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man, I'm serious.
Well then, tell me about the first time you seen this Bigfoot.
Well, had to been 4 or 5 years ago. I was out here one night smoking a butt, drinking a few beers, and I heard this rustling in the trees over there. Sounded big, so I knew it had to be an animal. Something like that anyway. At first, I thought it was a bear, but when I saw it, I knew it was something else. It wasn't no regular animal, let me tell you that. Then it stood up and just looked at me. We stared at each other for about at least an hour.
And then, you saw it 50 more times after that?
Well, sometimes I'd see it. Sometimes I'd just know it had been here. Like, we'd leave gifts for each other, you know?
Gifts?
Oh, yeah. I'd leave it some canned tuna or chicken bones. It'll leave me sticks and rocks. Left me that big old rock over there.
Which one? That one?
Yep.
Chet, have you ever bothered to tell anyone about these encounters?
Nope.
Why not?
Nobody asked.
Dumbfounded and a bit taken aback by Chet's claims, Darren was intrigued to know anomalous things were happening in this particular area. It got him excited about the idea that the land he lived on was special and gave validity to his experience. That night, he waited again for the glowing orb.
You know, I've been thinking. With Chet seeing what he saw, I'm starting to think this area is sitting on some kind of ley lines, or even an intersection of ley lines. I mean, what are the chances of these two separate, unexplainable phenomena happening in the same place? And what's to say it stops there? Maybe more extraordinary things are happening that we haven't even seen yet. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it can't be for nothing, you know? I just wonder what it is. This flying object keeps showing up here, and I know it'll be back. I just wonder what for. Ain't nothing out here. Nothing except me, but maybe that's why. Maybe it wants to see me. Maybe it wants something from me. Hey, it's back. There it is.
Almost on cue, Darren's video camera ran out of battery as the orb settled calmly into the clearing nearby the trailer. This time, it lowered itself down very close to the ground, just inches from the earth below. Darren approached the object, stunned at how close he was able to get to it. In that moment, something compelled him to reach out and put his hand on the craft's surface. His palm touched the glowing orb, and a sudden rush of memories flooded his brain. He was immediately able to remember and relive every moment of his life, the powerful sensation quivering through every atom of his terrestrial body. More and more vigorously he seemed to tremble, until the vibrations became so fast and so frequent, this furious oscillating soon turned into a peaceful hum. All the pain and sorrow Darren had ever experienced in his lifetime slowly dissipated into the ether around him. He was in a state of pure nirvana. Darren awoke to the sound of birds chirping and sunlight shining directly into his eyes. He was on the ground, in the exact spot where he had made contact with the glowing orb. Feeling as if he had slept for 100 years, Darren could experience what it was like to be truly awake. Back in the trailer, he plugged in the battery to his video camera and waited for it to charge.
So, last night, something incredible happened. That thing came back to my campsite and actually got close enough for me to get personal with it. When I touched its surface, I don't know, I always thought it knew me, but I didn't understand how well. This thing made me relive every moment of my life, from the time I was born up until now, in extremely vivid detail. It made me feel absolutely everything I had forgotten or pushed away over the years. And it's crazy because I'm about 42 now, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty much no time at all, but it's just downright unreasonable how much you can forget in such a short span of time. I mean, I pretty much forgot my whole childhood, like none of it ever happened, or at least acting like it never happened. Moving around a lot was tough. It was hard to make friends, or fit in anywhere. Even when you did get close to people, there was kinda this shield you'd keep up, knowing it was just a matter of time till you were ripped away. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. I forgot about all that stuff. I remember when we moved to North Carolina, we lived on a base there, Fort Bragg. I'd go to school at this place called Sughart, and I made friends with this boy, Tim. I don't know what it is, but with some people, you just click. Well, anyway, me and Tim clicked, and he was one of the funniest kids I ever met. We would just laugh and laugh and laugh all day. I remember that summer after 5th grade, we would just ride our bikes around the base all day, going places we probably shouldn't, breaking stuff. Man, that was a great time. Come to think of it, that boy Tim was probably the best friend I ever had. Anyway, the summer came to an end, and right before school started, my dad came home one day and said that we had to move to California. I was so sad. I remember crying and crying the whole drive out there. He didn't like it. He kept telling me to stop being a sissy, dry them tears up, because life is full of hard decisions, that this wasn't nothing and things would get harder. Boy, was he right. It was out there in California that things got bad between my parents. They never argued quite like they did till we got to California. I wasn't happy out there, and neither was my mom. I said that boy Tim was the best friend I ever had, but scratch that. It was my mom. She was the best. She really understood me. She wasn't like my dad. She actually got it. I could talk to her about anything. She'd always have something nice to say. But in California, things changed. She kind of just shut off. Stopped being who she was. I guess I didn't quite recognize it at the time, but she was pretty messed up. I mean, like, intoxicated and stuff. She was always a drinker, but out there, she was real drunk all the time. She wasn't a bad drunk. She wouldn't hit me or anything like that, but she was just always falling over or falling asleep on the couch and stuff like that. I remember seeing all the pill bottles in the bathroom and her bedroom too. I suppose I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Probably too young to, but deep down, I always knew she wasn't right. My dad wasn't really much help either. He was always focused on work. I don't think he really cared about her. As long as she was home, being a wife, it didn't matter. But then, one day, it did matter. Because she decided to up and leave. I came back from school one day and she was there in the kitchen, kind of like she was waiting for me. And she got up, and said she had to go to the grocery store because she forgot to get something, which was already weird because if she did forget something, she didn't care. We just wouldn't have it. She came over and she hugged me. She hugged me so tight and for so long, I got real scared. Then she got in the car and drove off. Never came back. My dad was so angry, but he didn't let that stop him from focusing on his job. I was sad. Way sadder than when we left North Carolina. But I didn't cry. Things at the house weren't good after that. I was just alone all the time, wondering if my mom was ever going to come back. I thought she would. Prayed she would. But after about a year, I gave up hope. Then we moved to Texas, and I really gave up. Me and my dad couldn't talk about it. We couldn't really talk about anything. We just had to go about it all like nothing ever happened. Like Mom was never here. He tried to open up to me once. He just said, "Darren, one day you're gonna have a family of your own, and you're gonna have to do everything you can do to take care of them." Boy, was he wrong. Oh, I woke up with this too. Look here. More evidence of this thing coming to the area. See that? Right on my arm there? Get a good look.
In the center of Darren's forearm was a clear marking. 2 dots, about 3 inches apart, with a straight line attempting to connect them. The middle section was missing, keeping the dots from connecting, and rendering the link incomplete. As the day went on, Darren toiled in his RV and periodically went outside to watch the sky. The sun soon set, and a fire was made to keep Darren company, whilst hopefully signaling to the orb that he was here, waiting. The night progressed quietly, with nothing remarkable for Darren to report, until strangely, his phone began to ring. This was strange because the forest was too remote to receive signal, so Darren never got phone calls. He went over and answered timidly. "Hello? Hello?
Is this Darren Jackson?
Yes? Who is this?"
I want to speak with Darren Jackson.
"You are speaking with Darren Jackson. Now who is this?"
Stay where you are for 3 days.
"Stay where I am? Why? What's happening in 3 days?"
Stay where you are and wait for the light.
"Light? What light? Who am I speaking to?"
Stay where you are. There is no need.
What are you talking about? How did you get this number?"
No need to pack your things.
"Who are you?"
3 days.
Hey, who are you?" Silence filled the other end of the line. An ethereal haze clouded Darren's mind, not knowing who he just spoke to, but feeling certain that he was destined to find out. 3 days. The magic number. He would stay, right where he was. In preparation for the event to come, Darren set up a camera at different points around the clearing, checking each shot for the best one to capture the mysterious flying object. Once an acceptable shot was established, Darren hit record to reveal his big plan.
The day after tomorrow, that thing is gonna come here and, I'm gonna be ready this time. I've been up all night last night planning it, and I'm gonna stay up all night tonight too. And, yeah, I'll be ready. The second I know that thing is coming, I'm gonna run down here and hit record. The camera's gonna already be in position, so there's no funny business. Just ready to go, get it rolling, capture everything. Also, I'm gonna have this here cell phone camera recording in my hand, which I'm gonna use to capture the object from my point of view. That way, I'm gonna have not 1, but 2 different angles of the object in question, recording in real time, so that can't anyone tell me it's fake or AI or video editing or anything like that. It's going to be real, genuine, non-tampered with footage for the world to see. And they're going to know me as the man who made contact. Just you watch. You know, I knew from the very beginning that that thing came here because of me. I couldn't explain it then, and I can't really explain it now, but I'm positive that thing knows me, understands me. When I got that phone call the other day, it was confirmation. Everything I needed to hear. It wants to show me something. Something I can share with the world. And I will.
All night and all day, Darren waited for the orb's arrival, which was alluded to him from the phone call 3 days prior. Although he had not slept in over 72 hours, he was buzzing with energy, ready to catch the craft on film and to discover the purpose of its frequent visits to his campsite. He pondered if it would bestow secrets of the universe upon him, or grant him abilities unobtainable by other human beings. Knowing the glowing orb came specifically because of him made Darren feel special and privileged to have been chosen by what may very well be extraterrestrials. Without contemplating what made him special, he waited patiently, eyes locked onto the night sky. Hours went by as Darren sat still deep into the night. The fire, which had once burned so brightly, was now reduced to a pile of glowing embers. The time was now 4:15, and the excitement of the orb's arrival was slowly slipping away. Darren began losing hope and wondered if what he thought about himself was really true. Was he chosen? Was he special? Did he even matter? Just then, a cool breeze sliced its way through the trees, and a dim light could be seen from slightly above them. In the clearing, the glowing orb approached, and Darren sprung into action, nearly falling over as he jumped from his chair. He ran over to the camera tripod and hit record, whilst simultaneously pressing record on his phone camera. He entered the clearing and witnessed the orb hovering gently about 20 feet above his head.
I'm here,
Darren said, not knowing if he should expect a response.
I did what you said.
The orb just floated there quietly and didn't do anything noteworthy. This visit was different from the previous visits, as Darren felt that the orb didn't acknowledge him. Before, it felt as if the orb came specifically to see him, knowing and understanding him from a cosmic perspective. But this time, it didn't feel that way at all. Its presence was cold, which hurt.
3 days. I waited 3 days just like you said. I knew you'd come back.
With his phone pointed at the object, Darren captured as much of it as he could. But in that moment, something strange happened. His phone started to glitch from digital distortion and shut down abruptly in his sweaty palm. Darren looked over at the video camera to see that the red recording light had vanished too.
What do you want?
He cried.
What are you doing here?
Just then, a sharp beam of light shot down upon Darren, illuminating his body directly from above. The glowing craft not only acknowledged him, but looked into him, explored him, and accepted him. This was the recognition and appreciation Darren was missing in his life, the love he felt he didn't deserve. But in the light of this cosmic being, it became clear that he did deserve it, that he was in fact worthy of such things. Darren then felt a tight pull emanating from his chest and began levitating slowly off the ground. Higher and higher he ascended until he was inches from the glowing orb, face to face with his loving captor, unable to speak, move, or breathe. And then, in the blink of an eye, the two shot off into the stratosphere, leaving everything else quietly behind.
We're here in Pushpataha County as firefighters work tirelessly to finally subdue this large forest fire. It was believed to have started yesterday in the early hours of the morning, with the source of this fire originating from an unattended campfire. Now, this campfire didn't take place at a registered campsite, but from a remote location deeper into the forest. It seemed that the lone camper living there, named Darren Jackson, was residing in his RV. Upon further inspection, what was left of the recreational vehicle contained lots of equipment and a copious amount of chemicals used in the manufacture of methamphetamine. Yes, that's right, a meth lab right here in Pushpataha County. About 8 ounces of the substance was retrieved from the burnt wreckage, and it's believed there could have been even more. As of now, there is no sign of Darren Jackson at the site or anywhere else. If anyone has information on the whereabouts of Jackson, they are strongly urged to contact their local authorities.
Thank you kindly for tuning in and making it through the whole story. If you like what you heard, and you want to support independent creators like me, subscribe, comment, like, give this podcast a positive review, and share it with fellow lovers of dark fiction. Much love to Morrison James for voicing Chet, Zoe Flynn for voicing the phone caller, and Claire Bernal for voicing the news anchor. If you really want to show some love, become a patron and receive exclusive benefits to the show. Or join the Discord to connect with like-minded individuals and receive secrets. Until then, I'll be waiting for the next time we dissolve the boundaries of sound and fiction.